Greetings, good day, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time you may be hearing this. I want to take the time to say a humble salutations to you. Welcome or welcome back to The Healer with me as your host, Keziah. I'm grateful to be here today with you all, live and in stereo, on this beautiful day, Friday, with Faithwalk Fridays. And today's episode is just about realizing that all of our fears are surrounded around us, truly just living and letting go and jumping into the pool of newness and opportunity and uncomfort that comes with us reaching the levels that we ultimately want to reach. Because it's just like whenever I think about just being in class and how anxiety and fears are discussed, it's always discussed in the lens of unknowns. I mean, yes, some fears are definitely, tangible, but for the most part, anxiety is rooted in thoughts and fears of the unknown. And the thoughts and fears are surrounded around what would happen if I did the thing I wanted to do. Like, what would happen if I took the time out of my day to actually put in positive energy and optimistic energy into, this project that I'm working on, or even just throughout my day. Like, having a different mindset will truly change your life. Like, people don't comprehend the power of that enough. Like, our words that we speak, man, we could think it's hypothetical, but the universe doesn't even work like that. Because we thought it, because we said it, whether we see that in the next 5 seconds, 5 minutes, 5 years, 5 days, 5 months, it's gonna come. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we have to kind of be more intentional and cognizant of the things that we even think. Like, I'm to the point in my life where you can't even have bad thoughts around me because it affects me. And no, I'm not crazy for saying that. Like, this earth plane that we live on, this body that we have, it's all being directed and guided by our souls. And that's a vibration. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like when you get down into further introspection in the depths of like what it is to even be living this life, people think that this physical body is the compilation or is the culmination, of it all. Like, it is the compilation because it's the compilation of basically higher states of consciousness resting in one, i.e. we're made in the higher power's image, whatever you call that higher power. Some people call it God, some people call it Jah, some people call it Ra. Some people just call it it. You know what I'm saying? But it's all the same thing, y'all. It's all the same thing. And that's okay. Because ultimately, how could we all expect to believe in and draw power from the exact same, thing, the exact same image? If we're all unique people, if every human is different, even in their human design, some are similar, but, everyone has unique principles. How could we then say, oh, you must follow this same higher power? Like, you must, You must look at this one and only this one, no matter if this one feels more connected to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know our feelings are not facts. However, our feelings are still definitely very much valid. And before we really could rely on facts, before there was someone to say, okay, this is a fact, we had to trust those feelings. We had to rely on those gut instincts, those butterflies in our tummies. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are things that innately we do. We know how to do. However, the society we grow up and live in, kind of take that away. And so then whenever you reach the point of, okay, I feel disconnected from what I've been told to believe in, let me go find my own path to connection, you get called crazy and demonic, and you get told you're lost and you're no longer on the way or on the path, when in your personal life you've probably never felt better. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think we have to kind of realize that living this life is scary in itself. However, we have to embark on the journey to live it. And that's going to cause us to stumble sometimes. It's going to cause us to have like unfavorable moments and uncontrollable feelings and just bad days. But a bad day does not always equal a bad life. And it's just like, we can't let one day get in the way of like us building the bigger picture, you know, of what we want out of this life. Because ultimately you can have whatever you want out of this life. And if anybody ever tells you different, you tell them to go kick it somewhere else. Like, because they don't need to be around you. Truly, honestly and truly. But yes, I just realized that like death really is like easy. That's, you know, not to sound like morbid, but that's something I actually am very okay and content with. And I'm just going to be very, what is the word? I can't find the exact word that I'm looking for. But I'm just going to be very content on the day that my day comes. And I realize now, being in college, growing up around other people, not everybody lives a life like that. And not everybody lives knowing that like leaving this plane is okay, and it's honestly the most freeing feeling that we're ever going to have. Not to say that we should be looking forward to the end of our lives, but just we should make peace during our lives with the fact that we have an end of our lives. You know, because you don't want it to get to the end of your life and then that sudden realization hit. Like, you have to live every day. That's why we have to live our lives to the fullest, truly, every day. Because you don't want it to get to the moment where you're actually dying and then you realize, oh crap, I didn't do XYZ, I didn't do ABC. What the heck, I'm never going to be able to feel those feelings from that. Now I'm scared to die because I'm never going to know what it's like to have those experiences in this body. And that is a scary thing, because then you're thinking about all the possibilities. And although they're good possibilities, you start feeling a negative feeling about it because you ultimately know I'm not going to be able to do those things because my time here has came to an end. So it's just like what we fear is living our lives the way that we would have wanted to. So we have to live our lives the way that we want to. So by the time our cycles are over, we don't regret not living and not doing things that we would have or wanted to do. Like and this is a shout out to my grandma. She was not a perfect lady. She was not, honestly, nowhere near perfect. I had a very hard life. And I'll discuss that one day when here. But it's just like, she taught me that you have to live your life every day without regretting what you did the previous day, because you don't get that back. You can only move forward. And you don't get necessarily a clean slate every day, but you get a new chance every day to, live your life a little bit fuller. And despite not growing up with much, I was very spoiled. We were very wealthy in the departments where it truly mattered. And it's like, because of that, we never wanted for money, And oh, I could cry just thinking about that. But just the power in having an abundant mindset and having someone around you that really wants to pour into you, despite you not being able to pour necessarily that much into yourself, is a very beautiful and selfless thing that I learned from her. But ultimately, she taught me, I'm not going to be here one day anymore. And that's okay. However, that's the truth. And I want you to be okay with that, because I am. And I'll feel a sense of relief whenever I do go. It was definitely hard. I was like, what are you talking about? But now that she's actually passed away, I really find myself okay. And then with the path that Spirit led me down in my connection with Source, God, universe, spirituality, I feel more closer than her than ever. So it's just like her preparing me in that way, I think kind of led me to this path, truly. Because if I'm being honest, in other faiths, death is really definite. And it's like, once this happens, you're just gone. We celebrate you once, and then you're just gone, and you're just a distant memory, and then you just become a memory, and then I'm saying that backwards. You're just a memory, and then you become a distant memory, and then you become, nothing at all. And me personally, I'm not okay with that, because what do you mean I'm going to eventually forget the people that I love, the people that poured into me, the people that made me me? And it's just like her telling me in her life that she would be okay and that she would be content and kind of happy about her death really helped me find a level of peace that I pray upon other people. Truly. Don't get me wrong, it was still very hard. However, I do find a different level of peace that I know I didn't have whenever I didn't kind of have this deep of level of spirituality. But I just say all that to say, I hope that you start living. And I just want you to kind of start to think about and be not overthink, not hyperfixate. Please don't do that. But just kind of acknowledge today that one day my cycle will come to an end. So I'm going to do my damnness to live to the fullest every day. If you have to do it, do it scared, but make sure you do it. Let somebody know you're scared, but then follow that up with, I'm still going to do it though. But I just needed to get out that, I'm scared. I know I have the capability. I know I have the power. I know I'm not here for no reason, nor by coincidence. So let's do this thing. And this thing is this thing called life. I just love you all so much for being here. And I hope you have a wonderful night, a wonderful day, and a beautiful rest of your tomorrow. One love.